A 6-year-old girl out of Florida has passed after a go-karting accident at a Florida facility entertainment center over this past weekend. It was just after 8:50 p.m. on Saturday that 911 dispatchers were called from staff at the Urban Air Adventure Park in Port St. Lucie, Florida, who reported a go-kart accident involving a child. When the police officers arrived at this scene, they found that the child was being treated by St. Lucie County Fire District personnel. The girl was then airlifted to HCA Lawnwood Hospital in Fort Pierce. Despite medical treatment, the girl died from her injuries on Sunday. According to the press, the child was identified by her family as 6-year-old Emma Riddle. They sent her obituary out to press earlier this week and described her as, quote, full of life, love, and light, and said she was at Urban Air celebrating her sister's birthday when the accident happened. An Urban Air spokesperson said that the Family Entertainment Center is heartbroken by the tragic accident and stated, quote, our deepest sympathies go out to the child's family and loved ones. Our policies, procedures, and equipment are designed to keep children and families safe, and the well-being of the children and families we serve is always our top priority. Our team responded immediately, and emergency personnel arrived on site. We are working with state and local authorities as their investigation moves forward. The spokesperson continued, saying that the St. Port Lucie location is closed while the investigation continues out of respect for the child's family. According to the press, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services has oversight of go-kart tracks because they fall under the jurisdiction of carnival rides, and a state investigation into the accident is underway. Port St. Lucie has also notified the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, that's OSHA, of the accident. As the investigation into Emma's death continues, one resident who allegedly saw multiple prior incidents at Urban Air told the press that the go-karts have been of concern for a while. Stephen Jennings, who allegedly witnessed previous crashes while filming promotional videos for the Family Entertainment Center, said he immediately suspected the cause. Quote, the news article I saw didn't say what caused the accident, but I commented on it and I was like, I am 100% sure this has to be a go-kart accident, he told the press. Jennings added that while the previous accidents he saw were not fatal, they were still troubling. Even at those levels, the carts will still just scrub into the wall. And honestly, the workers weren't really doing any due diligence to educate the kids and let them know how to actually properly drive the car. It's more of a free-for-all when you get out there. Jennings claimed that when he raised concerns about go-kart track safety to Urban Air Adventure Park owners, they didn't take him seriously. Not just from the management and the staff at the lower level. When you go up the higher levels, like the owners and everything, and you're expressing these issues, they kind of just shove you underneath the rug. According to the press, the parent company of Urban Air Adventure Park has been sued and settled multiple times for incidents involving their attractions. One previous case involved a 10-year-old who fell 20 feet off a zip line, but did recover from the fall. They are now going to be laying Emma to rest this weekend in services, and the 911 call related to this incident was just released, and I will upload that in the post after this separately so that you can hear it. And it did give a little bit more insight to what actually may have happened. Now, due to Emma's age and size at 6 years old, she was not driving a go-kart, right? She was sitting next to her father in one of them as he drove around. It seems that they were most likely hit from behind, and she got pushed forward and hit because in the call they talk about hitting her sternum, right? They weren't sure if there was BLOOD coming from her nose or if she was throwing it up. It was a worker that called 911. It appears that may have been an impact that caused a fatal internal injury to Emma. I would love to know in the comments, what is your experience with these go-kart places? Have you been there? Have you seen anything go wrong? I've tried to think of mine, and I don't think I have much. I have been to the outdoor one, say at Six Flags. I have been to an indoor one. I just think of one this past summer that I went to, that was an indoor one for the first time. And it was Andretti's. That's what it was. And I was visiting my parents with my daughter. So when we went on, first of all, you sign extensive waivers to go into these places. I'm sure many of you know if it involves things like go-karts or those rock climbings or those trampoline places, the waivers you're signing are, I don't know how ironclad they are, but they're intense. So I'm curious as to any legal justice in the situation, although if there's violations of safety and all that, that I would think could void any possible contract that you signed prior to getting on the quote ride that you were on. So anyway, when I was at Andretti's, it was only myself, my dad, and my 13-year-old daughter in our group that went on. And then there was literally one other kid who also rode in our grouping. So we were lucky to not have a ton of people there at the time that we went. But what did happen is we all were back to the part of pulling in at the end. And mind you, Andretti's, I don't know how this place operates, but Andretti's gives you that really intense helmet to cover to try to protect your head and everything. And you're strapped in really well. But what happened is this kid came in last to pull in, and he came in directly behind me. Now, he was young, and unfortunately, he came right into the back of my go-kart, and he did not slow down enough because he hit me, and it became bumper cars basically, and made me go forward, and it jerked me, and I hurt my neck, and it bothered me. And I'll be honest, I was annoyed because there weren't many of us, and it's very clear when they tell you to slow down coming in. But by him hitting me, my go-kart then hit, I think my daughter was in front of me. I don't think it was my dad. And that chain reaction kind of hurts everybody. And immediately I'm like, do they not look at this situation? Why is there not something almost like I think of a bullpen when there's bull riders. Why is there not dividers at least going in so that there is no chain reaction if somebody cannot stop very well? Why is there not some soft barrier to make sure that there's no impact like that occurring? Because even though they have an agreement that you're signing, giving notice of these things that you could get hurt and stuff like that, and you need to tell them before you get off the ride and all of that. I just didn't, I was like, why is this not safer? Because this cannot be the only time this happened to me. And this was one ride with 4 people on the track. Now, again, that was an indoor go-kart place. Outdoor ones I've seen tend to be larger with more room. When I did it at Six Flags, there was a ton of room, really safe. They slow people down when they need to. That was great. I felt comfortable. My daughter was too young at that time, so she was in the cart with me. No issues. But I don't know. I've heard some really dangerous stories of these places. If anything, I hope that these facilities look at their safety very closely and are held more accountable for that, because families should be able to enjoy places like these. We should have places that we can take our kids to and parents feel confident and safe about it. Kids can have fun and you go home without any injury, let alone a fatal accident. It's not okay. Thoughts and prayers to the Riddle family at this hard time. I cannot imagine, especially the sister whose birthday party it was. There's just so much trauma here that comes out of something like this. This family should have been able to go have a wonderful family birthday celebration and all go home at the end of the night. It's as simple as that. Like, this just should not have happened. Thank you for watching The Light. Let me know below your thoughts and any of your experiences, and I will see you in the next one.